Good morning, my dear children. Hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to see the next chapter in moral science. Please take your text, page number 53. And the topic name is Be Inspired. Okay, what is the topic? Be inspired. How can we inspire someone? Through our actions and words, isn't it? It is our actions and words, or even our life itself, become an inspiration to someone, isn't it? So let's see in this particular chapter who inspired us and how can we inspire others in our life. Okay, dear? So hope you have taken page 53 in your moral science text. Have you ever felt sad about getting low mark? Sometimes some of you might have failed in any subject. Have you ever come across such incident in your life? Okay. How do you feel during that time? If you have failed, do you feel very happy? No, we don't feel happy, isn't it? We are scared to tell the mark to our parents, isn't it? Because we know our parents are sending us to school to mold ourselves in all the way, isn't it? So, as I told in the previous class, education is a main tool. So, if you failed in any particular subject, it will definitely upset our parents because their aim is to bring us to a high position, isn't it? That's why they are giving us good education. They are what put an admission, they got an admission in a best school so that you have good future, isn't it? So after doing all their responsibility, even then we fail to accomplish, if we fail to prove our inner potential, means it is really a sad thing for our parents, isn't it? So let's see what you have to learn from this particular story. The story is about a person, a boy named Jidin, who had come across same incident in his life. Okay, let's see. Jidin was scared to go home. He had received his term report from his class teacher and had found to his dismay that he had failed in maths. He knew that his mother and father would be very upset. In his heart, he also knew that he hadn't worked hard enough before the exam. Okay, so if you fail in any subject, definitely, where lies the problem? You haven't worked at all. If we work, if we revise everything regularly, definitely we won't fail in any subject, isn't it? So then and there, whenever the teacher teaches you any subject, any lesson, after going home, you have to revise all those things. And if you come across any doubt in that particular chapter, the next day itself, you can go and clarify those doubts. And before the exam, every day you have to revise those lessons again and again so that you will understand the concept clearly. And whatever the question asked by the teacher, you won't blink without knowing the answer, isn't it? So here Jidin admitted that he failed to work hard. That's why what happened? He failed in maths. Even though he knew it is his own fault, he couldn't, he can't go and say this to his parents, isn't it? അമ്മ ഞാനൊന്നും പഠിച്ചില്ല അതുകൊണ്ട് എനിക്ക് മാർക്ക് ഞാൻ ഫെയിൽ ആയി പോയി എന്ന് ഒരു കുട്ടിയും പോയി പറയാറില്ല, അല്ലേ? പറയാൻ നമുക്ക് കഴിയില്ല, അല്ലേ? അച്ഛനമ്മയോട് ബഹുമാനവും സ്നേഹവും ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല അമ്മ ഞാൻ ഫെയിലായി പോയി എന്ന്. കാരണം നമുക്കറിയാം അവരുടെ ഡ്രീം തന്നെ എന്തോന്നാണ് നമ്മളെ ഒരു നല്ല നിലയിൽ എത്തിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത്, അല്ലെ? അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഫെയിലായി എന്ന് കേൾക്കുന്നത് അവർക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും സന്തോഷം തരുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമല്ല, അല്ലെ? സോ ഹിയർ Jidin also scared to inform this to his parent. Okay. Dismay എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു shock surprise. Actually, he never failed in any subject. This is the first time he failed. Okay. So dismay means a shock surprise. It's not a pleasant surprise. No, shocking surprise. Okay. Because he did not expect that result. Okay. Being very upset, Jidin took the longer way back home. He was relieved to find that his parents were not at home. Only his grandfather was there. He rushed up to his room and tried to think of some way to solve this situation. At last, Jidin hit upon a plan. He decided to change his grade in the report card that would surely get him out of trouble at home. And he could easily change it back to the original on the way to school next morning. So, when he reached home, what happened? His parents are not there, and he was thinking a lot about how to overcome this situation. Okay, how he can save himself from this trouble. So he got an idea. What is that idea? I can change the mark in my report card and show it to my parents. And before reaching the school, on the way to school, what I can do? And second, I can change it. That's the plan. Okay. Is it a good plan? Not at all. You are lovely children. We should not indulge in any malpractices, isn't it? We should not indulge in any wrong things. Whatever the thing, we should be always true to ourselves and to our elders and the people around us. Okay. So this was the plan. Okay. So engrossed with Jidin in his thoughts that he did not hear his grandfather walk into his room. Okay. Engrossed means when you are thinking or when you are concentrating on something deeply. Okay. This may happen while we are watching TV. Isn't it? While you are watching TV, even if your mother or father call you, you won't hear their sound at all. Isn't it? So engrossed means concentrating on something deeply. Okay. Or full attention on something deeply with you won't listen any other thing. Okay. So as he was he had this plan in his mind. He was he couldn't think about or he couldn't hear anything what's happening around him. Okay. So by that time his grandfather entered into his room, and you see what happened. Jidin called grandpa. I see you have got your report card. Spotting it on the study table. What happened? As I told, this is the first time he got failed, isn't it? So he was keeping his report card on the study table and thinking how to overcome that. Okay. So grandfather found that he got the report card and he kept that on the table, study table. Jidin was startled. His face turned pale and he broke into sweat. What happened? He never expect that his grandfather will enter his room and he will find out the report card. So he was completely embarrassed. He never he won't even think about what answer he can give to grandfather. Okay. So out of fear, what happened? His face became pale and he started sweating. Okay. Okay. He started sweating. Grandpa was surprised to see Jidin's troubled expression. What's the matter, Jidin? You look very worried. Is it your report card? Come on, tell me, what's the matter? He asked. Okay. So what happened? Startled means he was scared or frightened on seeing his grandfather in his room. Okay. So നമ്മുടെ വീട്ടിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും കള്ളത്തനം ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ പാരന്റ്സ് ഈസിലി അത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കും അല്ലേ? കാരണം നമ്മുടെ ആ എക്സ്പ്രഷൻ തന്നെ കാണിച്ചു കൊടുക്കും എന്തോ കള്ളത്തനം ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് അല്ലേ. So here also the lovable grandfather, he found out something is wrong with Jidin, and he was asking him in a very gentle manner, tell me my dear, what's the matter, what's the problem. Okay, seeing his grandfather's kindly and concerned face, Jidin couldn't help blurting out the truth in a rush. Okay, already grandfather unexpected ആയിട്ട് റൂമിലേക്ക് വന്നത് കാരണം he was totally scared, isn't it? So out of fear and what he don't know what to do next. What happened when the grandfather asked him, he blurt out. Blurt out means speak without thinking, or say something without thinking. Without thinking എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആലോചിച്ചൊന്നും നിൽക്കാതെ പെട്ടെന്ന് മറുപടി അങ്ങ് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, നമ്മളിപ്പോ കൊച്ചു കുട്ടികളെയൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെയാ പേടിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്? നിങ്ങൾ ഓൾറെഡി യു ആർ little one. If you have younger children, means if they had done something wrong, means we used to raise our voice and ask, tell me now. Definitely they will say everything, isn't it? So here also, without thinking anything, he was out of fear and anxiety and a shock, he uttered all those things. Okay, ellam grandfather ചോദിച്ചതും he immediately uttered everything. Jidin couldn't help blurting out the truth in a rush. Grandpa, I have failed in maths and I'm very scared of what mummy and daddy will say. I was helping to do something about it when you walked in, answered Jidin in a small trembling voice. Grandpa nodded understandingly and patted Jidin's head softly. Don't worry, son, he said. Let me tell you a story. That will help you decide what to do. Okay, so he tell the truth. ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്ത് എങ്ങനെ ഈ സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ നിന്ന് എസ്കേപ്പ് ആവാന്നാണ്. I was thinking about that. Okay, so as I have failed in maths. അപ്പോൾ ഗ്രാൻഡ്ഫാദറിന് മനസ്സിലായി എന്തോ ജിതിൻ കള്ളത്തനം ഒപ്പിക്കാൻ പോയാണ്. So he said, okay dear, let it be. Don't worry about it. I will tell instead of telling you or suggesting you any remedy for your situation, I will tell you a story. From that story, you can decide yourself what you have to do. ഒരു കഥ പറഞ്ഞു തരാം, കഥയിൽ നിന്ന് മോന് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. ഓക്കെ, എന്താ സ്റ്റോറി എന്ന് നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. Grandpa slowly started telling the story of a boy who, like Jidin, was a mediocre student. Though he never scored high marks, he never gave way to cheating. His only weapons were truth and non-violence. Grandpa said that this boy grew into a fine leader who led a country to independence and had inspired not just Grandpa but the whole nation to stand up for truth. അപ്പൊ ഇത്രയും പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി who is that leader and who is that little boy who became the great leader of our nation. Very good, it is our Gandhiji. Okay, so he is going to tell a story about Gandhiji. Mediocre means average student. Okay, average student. Okay, so Gandhiji in his childhood, he was not a brilliant student, he was just an average student. Even then, he always stand for truth throughout his life. Okay, let's see what's that incident. By then, Jidin was very curious to know who the young man in the story was. I was speaking about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the father of our nation, explained Grandpa. Okay, Grandfather went on to give Jidin another very interesting incident from Gandhiji's life. He said that Gandhiji had been a very quiet and shy boy at school. Okay, so even some of you might have this shyness, and we don't have the boldness to utter something in front of our teacher or with our classmates. But you have to overcome that. Okay, don't think that I feel like this, I cannot do certain things, my limitation is this or that. Never degrade yourself. Okay, God given everyone some special qualities. We all are unique and we all had our own specialities. Okay, it is our responsibility to find out what is that hidden potential. ഓക്കെ, ആരെയും ദൈവം വെറുതെ നമ്മുടെ ഭൂമിയിലോട്ട് വിടുന്നില്ല. എല്ലാവർക്കും സംതിങ് സ്പെഷ്യൽ ബ്ലെസ്സിങ് തന്നാണ് അദ്ദേഹം അയക്കുന്നത്. അത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കേണ്ടത് ആരുടെ ചുമതലയാണ്? നമ്മുടെ. വി ഹാവ് ടു ഫൈൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഔട്ട് ആൻഡ് വി ഹാവ് ടു മേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഷൈൻ. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദാറ്റ് അതേഴ്സ് ക്യാൻ സീ ദ ലൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് പൊട്ടൻഷ്യാലിറ്റി. ഓക്കെ, തന്നിട്ടുള്ള ആ ബ്ലെസ്സിങ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ സ്പെഷ്യൽ ക്വാളിറ്റിയെ മറ്റുള്ളവർക്ക് വെളിച്ചമിട്ട് കാണിക്കേണ്ട റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി നമ്മളുടേതാണ്. വി ഹാവ് ടു ഫൈൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഔട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, സോ നെവർ ഡീഗ്രേഡ് യുവർ സെൽഫ് തിങ്കിങ് ദാറ്റ് ഐ എം നോട്ട് ഗുഡ് ഫോർ ദിസ്, ഐ എം നോട്ട് ഗുഡ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ്, എനിക്ക് ഇത് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയില്ല, എന്നെ കൊണ്ട് ഇത് മാത്രമേ ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയൂ എന്ന് ഒരിക്കലും നിങ്ങൾ സ്വയം ഡീഗ്രേഡ് ചെയ്യരുത്. മറ്റുള്ളവർ അങ്ങനെ ഡീഗ്രേഡ് ചെയ്താലും അത് കാര്യമായിട്ട് എടുക്കരുത്. ബിക്കോസ് വി ആർ ചിൽഡ്രൻ ഓഫ് ഗോഡ് അല്ലേ? അപ്പോ definitely he will bless with all the goodness in our life, isn't it? Okay, so you see, one day the inspector of school, Mr. Giles, came to Gandhiji's school. He read out 5 English words to the class and asked the boys to write them down. Gandhiji wrote 4 words correctly, but he could not spell the 5th word, kettle. Seeing his hesitation, the teacher prompted him behind the inspector's back to copy the correct spelling from his neighbor's slate. But Gandhiji ignored his signs. Even at a tender age, he was determined to be honest and do the right thing, despite the price. Okay, so what happened? During his childhood, there was an inspection, and the inspector asked the children to write 5 words in English. Okay, so Gandhiji had written 4 words correctly. And the 5th word, kettle, he could not write, he could not know the spelling of the word kettle. So his teacher, who was standing at the back of the inspector, he was showing some sign, you can copy from your friend. Okay, but Gandhiji, he ignored that. He never indulged in that because he think that to be honest is the most important thing rather than getting a prize. Okay, so he ignored that. Jidin felt much better after hearing Grandpa's stories. From that story, Jidin understood the value of honest and truth. Okay, so now he felt very relieved. He made up his mind to be strong as Gandhiji and to be always truthful and honest in all the circumstances. Okay, so after narrating this story or after hearing this story, what happened? Jidin, he decided to be honest throughout his lifetime. He got a mind that he can convince his parents by saying that this time I scored low marks, definitely I will score good mark in the next exam. അല്ലേ, നമുക്കും നമ്മുടെ പാരൻസും ടീച്ചേഴ്സും ഒക്കെ ഒരിക്കലാണ് നമുക്ക് തെറ്റുപറ്റിയെങ്കിൽ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അവര് നമുക്ക് നെക്സ്റ്റ് ചാൻസ് തരും അല്ലെ. ഒരിക്കൽ തോറ്റു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ പിടിച്ച് അടിച്ചങ്ങ് ചെയ്യോ? ഇല്ല, ഒരിക്കലും ചെയ്യാറില്ല അല്ലേ. അപ്പൊ ആ സെക്കൻഡ് ചാൻസ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? അതിനെ കറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്യണം. എങ്കിലേ നമ്മൾ ആ കൊടുത്ത ആ പ്രോമിസിന് വാല്യൂ ഉള്ളൂ അല്ലേ. വീണ്ടും നമ്മൾ അത് തന്നെ ആവർത്തിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ then there will be no value for our words, isn't it? So here Jidin decided to face the circumstances, and whatever the situation is, he decided or he took a vow that he will never be dishonest in his life and he stand for honest throughout his life. Okay, you enjoy the story, dear? It's a wonderful story, isn't it? So I believe my children, my lovable children also follow honest and truth throughout their life, whatever the circumstance. They always inspire others through their words and actions. And they make not only me, even your parents and your friends feel proud about yourself. Isn't it, dear? Very good. Okay, see, here they have given the activity. You can do it by yourself. And in the next page, please take a pencil. Gandhiji always wore khadi clothes, isn't it? Option C. Tick option C. Gandhiji's full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Second one. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Second one. Okay. Take B. Gandhiji's weapons were truth and non-violence. A. By profession, Gandhiji was a lawyer. Isn't it? Okay. Take that. Okay. So I will give the question answers later. See you in the next class, dear. Thank you.